All righty. So start at the back of your mat, a little different today. Separate your feet hips width distance, inner hips width distance. And I'm still so old school. I set it up like I take 2 fists and I measure. And then you're gonna bend your knees a lot, because if you feel like I do, I'm like 200 years old right now. You're gonna slide your arms straight back, and then I want you to crisscross at the wrist. And for some reason, this always confuses everyone. So all you're doing is reaching your arms back, hanging down, taking your right hand through to the front of the left shin, and then taking your left hand through to the front of the right shin. So your wrists are crossed behind you. That's it. And then you're just gonna fold. And if you can get some sort of like grip on the front of your shins, that's great. And you bend your knees as much as possible. If this is really not in the cards for today, I want you just to squat down and come into a squat instead. Yeah, so I don't know how your body feels. I only know how I feel. And that doesn't feel that great, but I know that if I hang forward for a bunch of breaths, it will feel better. But if it doesn't feel good, squat Malasana, very wide, exaggerated stance, and you're welcome to slide blocks underneath to support you. Yeah, and as you fold or as you squat, I need you just to relax. See if you can just let go. Let go of your thoughts and just connect to your breath, okay? Just connect to your breath wherever you are, and your mind's going to kind of wander. You have to just fold or squat. You have 2 choices. Let your head hang if you're in the fold. Breathe your hips way up off your shoulders. Hi, Fred. And let go. Just let your mind just kind of drift someplace else, someplace where you're not thinking and dwelling on anything. If you're folding forward, shift more weight forward. Keep the weight moving forward. Release the hands over the shins and interlace your hands behind your back and clasp the hands and drop the hands up and over. If you're in squat pose, okay? If you're in squat pose, just take your hands and tip the fingertips a little more forward and think about letting your shoulders like slide down your back a little and get a little bit more shoulder opener that way, okay? Just breathe. If the arms are bound behind you, clasp hands drop closer to the base of the spine, base of the crown of the head. And then rebend your legs, like really bend the legs and just switch the grip and then fold a little deeper. Opposite thumb, opposite baby finger. Connect to a nice smooth Ujjayi breath. Inhale through your nose to the back of the throat. Exhale through the nose to the back of the throat. Let go of what you don't need so you can just support this practice this morning. Release the hands to the ground. If you're in squat, you can come up nice and slow. And everybody's just going to start to walk out nice and slow to your first downward facing dog. So just kind of creeping yourself out. And when you arrive in dog, you can bend behind your knees as much as you need this morning. Continuously breathing those hips way up off your shoulders. Your feet are still about inner hips width distance apart. Your hands are grounded to the mat. Index fingers are forward. And I always say, take up quite a bit of space on your mat in your down dog and make the pose feel really good. Yeah, let your head go. Move your shoulders away from your ears. Yeah, move your shoulders away from your ears. Okay, lead with your heart and chest and roll forward to plank. From dog, roll forward plank. Perfect. So you're gonna lead with your heart and chest so you can take the round out of your spine. Good, activate your arms, activate your legs, draw the belly in and up. Drop your knees so they go behind you. Toes are gonna stay curled today. Lower halfway at most. It could be a micro bend of your elbows for supported push-up. Engage your core, re-straighten your arms to supported plank position. Lift the knees so now you're back in plank position. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. On the breath, lead with your heart, roll forward plank. Drop your knees for support. If you're not taking push-ups for some reason, you would just hold here. Halfway to a supported push-up, you can lower just an inch too. Re-straighten your arms for supported plank. Keep leading with that chest, neck is neutral. Knees lift, contract the thighs, regular plank, pause. Hips up and back, down dog. One more, roll forward plank, lead with the chest. Drop the knees so they go on an angle. Lower halfway at most. Control. Re-straighten so you're in supported plank. Activate the legs so you're back in plank position. Hips up and back, down dog. Look forward with your eyes and just step your right foot forward and through. It may take a couple steps if you feel tight. Drop the back knee down on an angle, be on your fingertips. Pull the chest forward a little so there's like a little up dog of your heart. Keep your neck nice and neutral. Just be here. Blocks are super helpful if you feel like you're just tight and you're going into your low back. Support with a little bit of a lift. I always keep my blocks handy. This is your psoas, your walking muscle. Good. Feel the stretch of the back left thigh. Grip your right foot, your hip in, and lead with your chest a little, like a little up dog in your heart and chest. Activate your back leg so the leg really firms itself up. Plant the hands, step to a dog using your core. Look forward with your eyes. Take your time, land your left foot all the way forward and through. It may take a couple steps. Drop your back knee on an angle. Keep the toes curled. Pause. Elevate the hands if you need a little lift. You want to feel like you're leading with your chest, like a little up dog here. A melting of those upper shoulders, a gripping in of your left hip and your left foot. Feeling the length of your back right thigh. Integrate the back right leg. So now it lifts and you're in this low lunge. Take the hands flat to the ground using your core muscles. Step to a dog. So we're going to do that a few times on the breath. Look forward with your eyes. Move the best that you can. Step your right foot forward. Come to your fingertips or blocks. Drop the back knee. Lead with the heart and chest. Take a little up dog. Plant the hands. Activate the back leg. Slide back to dog. Use your core muscles. Step your left foot forward. Come to your fingertips or slide blocks. Drop your knee on an angle. Create a little bit of an up dog with your chest. It's like a melting sensation. Good. Activate your back knee. Plant the palms. Now you're in a low lunge. Step to a dog. One more time each side. On the breath. Step the foot forward and through. Drop the knee on an angle. Come to the fingertips or blocks. Activate the hands in the back left leg. Slide back dog. One more left side. Left foot lands. Low lunge, drop the knee, up dog with the chest right here. It's a slow sensation. Activate the back leg, hug in, step back dog. Roll forward plank position. Halfway to a push up. Re-straighten your arms to a plank position. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward, low lunge, drop the knee, rise on the exhale breath, supported lunge. Drop your arms by your side body, clasp the hands behind the back. If you've got any shoulder tightness, anything going on in the elbow and the wrist, you keep a bend behind you like this. If you're okay, good to go, you could straighten your arms, the eyes of the shoulders kind of start to pull back. If you feel like you're jamming into your lower back, simply just pull out of the pose a little bit. Good, make sure your right knee, your right ankle all track. Good, a little bit of a melting sensation, a little bit of a back bend happening. The breath is free flowing. Fix your eyes and just start to slide those clasped hands down the back of that left thigh. What I mean by that is they may stretch down an inch. You may have a little bit more mobility, but be really mindful of that low back. Sweep your arms out and up towards the sky like you're holding a block over the top of the head. Hands come down to frame your front foot. Activate your back left leg. Step to a dog. Land your left foot forward, take a nice big step, drop the knee on an angle, get yourself set, rise on the exhale breath, supported lunge, come up like this first, drop your arms down, interlace your hands the opposite direction. You're welcome to keep as much bend as you need. Straightening the arms is gonna create that back bend, so you go at your own risk. Yes, eyes of the shoulders move back. Heavy in that front thigh, you can always back out, like I'm demonstrating here. Or you can sink a little deeper if you're looking for a little bit more work. Slide the clasp hands down the back of that right thigh. Look up a little with your eyes and just pause. Pull up to center, sweep your arms out and up like you're holding a big block over the top of the head. Hands come down to frame your front foot. Activate your arms and that back right leg. Slide back dog. Step your left foot forward on the exhale breath, drop the knees, sweep your arms up, drop your arms by your side body, clasp your hands, open up the heart and chest. Good, pull up to center, wrap the arms up towards the sky, you're moving on the breath. Hands come down, activate the back leg, step to a dog. The left foot lands, drop the back knee, it starts to get a little bit more like smooth. Arms reach up. Drop the arms down, clasp the hands the opposite direction, eyes of the shoulders move back. Feel a subtle but effective opening. Yes. Pull up to center, sweep the arms up towards the sky. Hands come down. Activate your back leg in one motion, dog. This time, slide your right foot forward. Keep the back knee lifted. Good. Rise, crescent lunge. Yeah. Drop your arms by your side body, clasp the hands. And let your hand slide down the back of the thigh. For some reason, this doesn't feel good in your body. You just do it with the back knee down for the third time. Yeah, just be here, a few breaths. Focus on the little things, like are you clenching your right toes? Yeah, spread the right foot nice and wide across the mat. Grip the right hip in strong. Squeeze the muscles around the back left quadricep, glute, hamstring. And then let the eyes of the shoulders lift you up and out of your lower back. Keep the neck nice and neutral. Sweep the arms out and up, just move that energy, reach through your fingertips. Hands come down to frame your front foot, just step to a dog. From your down dog, land your left foot forward, integrate your back leg, rise high lunge. Once you rise to high lunge, drop your arms, interlace the hands one more time, opposite grip. Eyes of the shoulders move back, hands kind of drop down the back of that right thigh. So you can move an inch, you can move 10 inches, but be mindful of your low back. Squeeze the muscles around that back right quadricep, hamstring. Sit heavy in that standing left thigh, not the knee. Grip your left hip under. Sweep your arms out and up. Just move the energy. Hands come down to frame your front foot. Step to a plank. When you arrive in plank position, know if you need to modify. Totally cool if you want to take it modified halfway to a push-up, up dog or baby cobra, whatever your liking is for today. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Look to the top of the mat. Step, step, crawl, however you need to get there this morning to the top. Get there nice and light. Long spine when you arrive. Feet can have a little separation to them. I like practicing like that. Exhale, fold into yourself. Root to rise, come all the way up. Energetically reach. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms for a moment and stand. Just feel. It's good to just feel. Right, I feel really energized. I feel kind of blah. Let's see if we can move our energy together in this little community. Sweep your arms out and up or straight up, you pick. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare yourself, or hand slide to your shins if they don't make it. Step, step to plank. So if you're a hopper, good for you. You always land in a low push-up. Most of us just step. Halfway to your push-up chaturanga. Up dog or cobra. I don't know how you're feeling in your lower back, so you can lower all the way to a cobra. It's a great alternative. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. You make these movements work for you. It's really important that you listen to what your body needs. You're not just doing. Look to the top of the mat, keeping your arms nice and straight. Step or float your feet to the top. Get there nice and light. Long spine when you arrive this morning. Exhale, fold into yourself. Root to rise. Sweep all the way up towards the sky. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Good. So on the breath, here we go. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Look up a little. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips and set it up. Step or float through your vinyasa. I just step, and then I lower a little bit into a push-up. I move into a very mild up dog. Press your hands on the tops of the feet. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Feel the center of your heels. It melts down in the down dog, and that's going to really give you the backside body stretch. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top. Long spine weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag it to prayer. Drop your arms. One more. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Go big. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips, set it up. Step or float through your vinyasa. So the push-up, the up dog or cobra, all of it is optional. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Roll forward to plank. Lift your right foot an inch from the ground. This kind of sets your hips in alignment, your pelvis aligned. Hug your right knee in towards your navel, scoop out your belly. Slide the right leg back to a three-legged plank position. Without too much movement, hug the right knee in again, scoop out the belly, arms are straight up and down. Slide the right leg back, three-legged plank. One more, hug the right knee in, small movements, scoop out the belly. Step the right foot all the way forward and through. Come to your fingertips for a moment. Feel the back right hip grips in and under. Turn the back foot on a strong angle. Root to rise, warrior one. So you move on your breath as you come up. Get your feet rooted, grounded, back foot turned on a strong angle so the left ribs can spin forward. And a little pitch forward is going to help you get out of your low back if you're feeling sensitive this morning. So just be mindful. Maybe look up at the eyes. Maybe the hands can come to a prayer up towards the sky. You pick. Get a little heavier in your legs as you breathe. Hands to frame your front foot, plank position. Halfway to a push-up, chaturanga. Re-straighten your arms to a plank. Yes. Lift your left foot an inch, let it hover. Hug the left knee in and up, scoop out the belly. Slide the left foot back, don't let it touch the ground, three-legged plank. Hug the left knee in, scoop out the belly, keep looking forward. Slide the left foot back, don't let the toe touch the ground, let it hover. Hug the knee in and up, scoop out the belly. Step the left foot all the way forward and through. Come to your fingertips first, focus on your outer left hip, hug it in. Without it splaying out, turn your back foot on a strong angle. Right rib spin forward, back foot presses firm, then come up warrior one. Get rooted, get grounded. Feel the energetic rise as your breath moves you. Right rib spin you forward. Yeah, maybe you need to pitch forward a little this morning. To play with that. Maybe the hands can gather to a prayer up towards the sky. You pick. Heavy in that standing front thigh as you just get grounded. Hands to frame your front foot. Move through a vinyasa or simply be mindful and just go to a down dog and hold. When you arrive in dog, deep breath in through your nose. Full breath out. There you go. Keep your arms nice and straight. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top of the mat. Long spine. Exhale, fold. Chair pose. Start with your feet a little separated. See how that works for you this morning. Heavy in your legs, chair. Heavy in your heels. Little arch in your upper back. Press up to stand up. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Here we go from the top. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Go big. Sit deep into a strong chair. So just like lower, like you're like in an elevator going down. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips and prepare. Step or float through your vinyasa. So just get yourself moving however this feels good. Up dog is smooth. Hips up and back, downward facing. Right foot lands, back foot turns. Come up on your breath, warrior one. Hands back down when you are ready through a vinyasa. Press through the hands and the feet if you're going for that up dog. Yeah. Downward facing is where we meet. And the left foot immediately goes forward. The back foot turns. We rise, warrior one. Hands back down on your breath, your count. Some of us move faster, some of us quicker. There's no judgment. Up dog if you're taking. Hips up and back, downward facing, opportunity to reset always. Look where you want to go. Step or maybe float your feet to the top. Long spine when you arrive. Exhale, fold into yourself. Sit into chair. Weight moves into your heels. Heavy in your heels. You got it. Press up to stand up. Drag it to prayer. Another one together. Here we go. Sit deep chair. Stick your butt way back. Create a little arch in your upper back and your lower back. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips. Prepare. Step or float through your vinyasa. Up dog is a smooth transition though. Hips up and back, down dog. On your breath, right foot lands, back foot turns. Warrior one. Come on up. Back down we go. Through a push up, add the back bend. Hips up and back, down dog. Left foot lands, back foot turns. Rise, warrior one. Nice and controlled. Back down we go. Through a vinyasa. Up dog is smooth. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Breathe your hips high, high, high. Spread your toes wide. Arms stay nice and straight. Look where you want to go. Step or float, top of mat. Long spine, weight is forward. Fold again. Sit heavy in your heels, chair pose. Press up to stand up. Drag it to prayer. One more from the top. Arms slide up. Sit deep, chair. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips. Set it up. Step, float. Keep moving through a vinyasa. Up dog pulls you through. Good. Hips up and back, down dog. Right foot lands, back foot turns. Warrior one. Keep going. Back down we go. Vinyasa. Upward facing, smooth. Hips up and back, down dog. Left foot lands, back foot turns. Rise. Back down we go. Plank through a push-up. Upward facing point. Hips up and back, downward facing. Right foot lands, back foot turns. Rise, warrior one. Yeah, left rib spin forward. So let's do this first. So get heavy in that front standing right thigh. Anchor that back leg. Bring your arms forward and wrap your left arm underneath your right. So just eagle the arms for a second. Straighten the right leg about 3/4 of the way. Steer your left ribs forward and hug your right hip in. And really feel the energy through that back leg. And then start to rebend your front right thigh. Yeah, rebend it. Rather than yanking down, lift the elbows up. There you go. Unravel the arms towards the sky for a moment. Drop them down and clasp the hands. So you're going to set up for humble warrior. Arms straighten as much as they can. Inhale the breath. Open up the eyes of the shoulders. Exhale, fold forward. Stomach can simply just rest on the thigh, or you can snuggle your right shoulder in. Whole left side of the body, though, must continue to steer forward. Pay attention to that right hip. Has the nature of wanting to hug, wrap out. So you got to continuously hug it underneath you. Yes, you give this as much or as little love as you need this morning. Let your head, if you're kind of snuggling in there, let it go. You got it. 2 more breaths. Feel the strength of that back leg. Keep the hands bound for me, guys. Start to pull your torso up. So as you start to lift your torso up back to this first warrior with bound hands, straighten your front right leg on track. Now it's almost completely pinned straight, except you never want to straighten it completely. Steer the left ribs forward and now fold over a straight leg. See if you can keep your hands bound. If you need to ditch it because balance isn't there this morning, you feel like your stability isn't right, just place your hands directly to the floor or to blocks. Lift your right hip up and back and steer the left side of your body forward so you could really be in this nice paraswell. Let the head just go. Maybe even shut your eyes and just play with that balance of feeling this morning, feeling those outer hips grip in, feeling the length and strength of the hamstrings as they start to open. Anchor strong and slowly start to rise the torso up. Come up nice and slow. Good. Let go of the clasped hands. Take your hands to your hips. Right hand to hip, left arm extend up. Inhale the breath. Start to lean forward. Lengthen. Steer the right hip back and set up for a twisting triangle. It's early in the practice. Sometimes it's fun to kind of change the placement of these poses in the way we practice. Right hand comes to the flat part of your back. I highly recommend a block placed high underneath that left shoulder. Yes. Steer the hips back like someone's got you by a bungee cord. They're pulling your hips back so your spine can move forward. The anchoring of the legs and the support of those outer hips is really gripping you in. And then start to stack it up. Maybe the right arm can extend up towards the sky. Maybe that's not in the cards for today. You just stay with your hand on the flat part of your back. You look sideways. Maybe you look up. Continue to breathe. Drawing awareness to your breath in the pose as you hold. Twist open a little more, guys. Try not to look back, look sideways, or look up. Eyes meet the floor, place the hands down, step through a vinyasa, or simply just go to dog and hold. You pick. Nice work. Once we all get to downward facing, land your left foot forward, turn your back foot strong, rise warrior one. So first come up regular warrior. Yeah. Good. Then bring your arms forward and wrap your right arm underneath your left. So wrap your right arm underneath your left, eagle the arms, then straighten your left leg about 3/4 of the way. Steer your right ribs and your right side body forward a little. Grip your left hip in strong. Lift the elbows up. Put a lot of good energy towards that back leg, and then start to bend a little heavier into that standing front left leg. So you're resetting the legs for warrior one with eagle arms. Look forward. Press through the outer blade of your back foot. Unravel the arms first towards the sky. Good. Then drop them down and clasp the hands. If you could remember, good luck. Inhale the breath, lift the heart and chest. Exhale, continuously steering the right side of the body forward. You either just rest your stomach on thigh. That's how I'm demonstrating it here. Or you're welcome to snuggle the left shoulder in. The problem with this is we have a tendency to just kind of press that hip out. You got to continuously hug the left hip in and under as you steer the right side of the body forward. So pick something you know you can hold for a whole bunch of breaths. I'd rather you be somewhere that's a little less intense, but you could feel a little more in a way that's like working, right? If you're kind of snuggling in there, let the head go and then clasp hands drop further down towards the back of your head. Couple more breaths. Keep anchoring that back foot. Keep steering the right side of the body forward. Strong in your legs as you start to pull it up to first warrior, but try and keep bound arms for a moment. Straighten the left leg on track. The front left leg keeps a little micro bend. Steer the right ribs forward and then fold over straight legs. Good. See if you can keep those hands bound. If it doesn't work for you, separate the hands, slide them to the floor blocks. Keep lifting your left hip up and back. taking the right side of the body forward, and let your head go. Breathe right here. Maybe even closing your eyes and just feeling your way through the pose. Heavy in your legs, start to pull it up nice and slow. Legs stay straight. Good. Slide your hands to your hips. Left hand on hip, right arm extends up. Reach out in front of you. Start to come all the way forward. Slide that block underneath that right hand. Left hand comes to the flat part of your back. This is giving you lots of good info this morning. Left hip has to hug in, and then you start to take it into the twist. Looking sideways, looking up. Good. And then twisting open. Maybe that left arm can extend up towards the sky, but you want your chest to stay nice and open. We want to continuously breathe into the posture. Don't cut yourself short here. Lots of energy towards that back right quadricep. Hug it. Hug your left hip in too, guys. Twist open. One more big breath. Look to the floor. Left hand comes down. Just kind of throw the block forward, guys. Come to your fingertips and step your right foot forward to meet your left. Long spine on the inhale, at the top of the mat. Here we are. Exhale, fold. Sit heavy in your heels for chair. Stick your butt way back. Drag your hands to prayer at heart. Inhale the breath. Hook the elbow. Twist to the right. You can take this posture with hips width distance in between your 2 feet, a block placed in between your thighs, or the more traditional way, your feet will be lined up and together. You can air twist. There's no need to go so deep sometimes, depending on your low back. You got it, Andrea. Watch that the left knee doesn't slide past the right. That's the trickiest part of this posture. Keeping the alignment and breathing yourself open here. Weight stays in your heels. Keep twisting. Heavy in your legs, pull around to chair. Sit heavy in your heels, you got this. Drag your hands to prayer. Inhale the breath, hook the elbow. Let's go the opposite direction. Let's bang it right out. Watch that the right knee doesn't, the right knee doesn't slide past the left. I'd rather you sit and be real heavy and air twist, but keep your alignment than be in a pose where you're all sloppy and your whole right side of the body is twisting forward. So alignment first, less is more, heavy in your heels, and go for it. You got it. That's good stuff, right? Like that. Just pay attention to that right knee, that it doesn't slide past the left, and you're in good shape. Keep breathing. 2 more. Pull around to chair. This is where you yell out on mute. I can't imagine what you're saying. Shoot up to stand up. Drag your hands to prayer and drop your arms and just stand for a second. Good work. So separate your feet at the top of the mat. Stand on your right leg here. Bend your left leg up like you're gonna kick your butt with your heel. Reach with your left hand for the outside, and then see if you can grab with your right hand as well. So it looks like this. So the shoulders draw down the back, soften behind the left knee. Stand up nice and tall. Your 2 knees line up side by side. Your shoulders are set up right here for this back bend. If you can get your ankle and flex your foot, that's ideal. If it's not working today, you of course can just create the shape such as I'm demonstrating, or just grab with one hand and make the other arm active. Now, you're gonna start to tip forward into like this is called Bound Warrior 3. So your torso starts to drop down. Your left leg doesn't wing out. It has to stay behind you. So less is definitely more in this pose. You may find you're only tipping forward 2-3 inches. If you have a little bit more range of motion in your body, it may go a little further. So find something you know you can hold here. You're energetically kicking into your hands, creating this back bend, and really opening up the heart and the chest. Keep gripping your right hip in as you stand up on that standing right leg. Stay with it. So more traditional warrior 3 right here. You're going to start to release that bind, just releasing the arms and releasing the legs out behind you. If balance becomes problematic, reach for blocks, but you're standing on your right leg. Your arms are reaching back energetically. Yeah, your heart is higher than the rest of the body. You're in warrior 3. Your hip is not opening. Now, without letting your left leg touch, you're going to stand up, swing your left leg forward and your arms up towards the sky. If you need to bend your knee in half, that's fine, but see if you can straighten your leg. Leg is straight out in front of you, left leg. Arms are straight up towards the sky. You're still standing on your right leg. Wrap your left thigh around your right. Wrap your left arm underneath your right arm for eagle. Steer your hips towards the skinny back edge of your mat. Swing your knees to the left and upper body a little to the right. You should feel some heavy burning in that outer right hip. That is normal. Stay with it. Sit a little deeper, guys. This is good work. Release. Sweep your arms out and up. Stand up tall and drop your arms by your side body. Just stand for a second. Standing on your left leg, bending your right leg up. Same thing. Catch it with one hand, with both hands, with no hands, and just create that energetic shape. This is totally great, just to make this mindful. Right. Get hold. Hug your hips in. Less is more. I've practiced here where I just stay really upright. Sometimes this just feels really powerful in my body. Just to stay here, a little micro bend in the left leg, and just creating the back bend here. If you know you got a little bit more to give, now would be the time to start to dip forward, kicking your right foot into your hands. So just kind of move intuitively into your body. Soften behind the left knee. Everything is squared off. Nothing is open. Everything is facing the ground here. Keep breathing. Give it a little more juice. And then you're going to start to release the arm and the leg towards the back edge of the mat. Do it slow. You're in a more traditional warrior 3. Use blocks underneath your hands if your balance gets a little off. Keep breathing. Keep your eyes fixed a little forward. Now that right leg is going to stay super straight. Don't let your right toes touch. Start to bend a little into the standing left leg like a pendulum. Swing the right leg out in front of you and slide the arm straight up. You can have your leg straight out and just hovering. It could look like this. It could be an inch from the ground. It can be up hip height. Lift it a little higher. Wrap your right leg around your left. Wrap your right arm underneath your left. So the foot may not go all the way around the calf today. So I'm demonstrating more of a little toe stand here. Squeeze the arms, squeeze the legs. Sit nice and heavy in that heel. Breathe. You got this. Release. Arms sweep out and up. Sweep them nice and high towards the sky. Drag your hands to prayer. Stand up tall. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Look up. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips and set it up. Long spine. Step or float through your vinyasa. Move through that up dog. It should feel pretty good. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Step your right foot smack in between your hands. Turn your back foot on a strong angle. And from the ground up, slide into triangle pose. Pull up on the front of your right shin somewhere or utilize a block to the outside of your right calf. Set your stance up so it works for you this morning. Some of us like our stance a little wider, some of us a little smaller. Lean back a little bit. Side ribs working. Look down, float into your half moon. Utilize your block. Your left hand can come to your hip. Yeah. Soften behind the right knee and then grow your left arm up towards the sky when you're ready. Steer your right hip underneath you. And then maybe you want to add the bind today. Reach for your left foot, catch the foot and kick behind you. This is, of course, optional. Take the whole bottom ribs and turn. Yeah. Imperfections of this posture make things interesting. So if you fall, you get wobbly, you feel unstable, welcome to the practice. Release the foot if you have it, and regular Ardha is what we're looking for here. The transition is its own beast. So look down, step back, warrior two, do it nice and slow. You may need a few steps to get there. It may not be a pretty experience, just make it work. Stack yourself up. Breathe yourself open. Wrap your inner right thigh open. These look solid, guys. Flip the palm, reverse your warrior this morning. Make this subtle. Come back through warrior two and slide your right hand to the instep of your right foot. I definitely use a block here. I place it to the center. Right hand comes down, actually fist the hand, and then the left arm stacks up. Lean back a little bit and then maybe slide your left hand to your hip or wrap it behind for a half bind. We've done a whole bunch of shoulder stuff, so you may feel pretty solid working into a half bind, even a full bind today. Lean back, open the collarbone, open the chest. Keep anchoring the feet. You got it. Lean back. Yes. So your outer right hip has to hug underneath you. Yeah. And then the back of your right tricep presses against the inside of the leg. Your arm can always rest on the top of the thigh if it's too intense to have the hand down. 2 more breaths. If you took a half bind or a full bind, unravel the left arm to the sky. Yes. Let the top arm pull you back, warrior two. Pull back up, warrior two. Breathe your collarbone and your chest open. Look forward, circle it to the floor. Move yourself through a vinyasa. Up dog is powerful if you're taking. Hips up and back, downward facing. From your down dog, land your left foot smack in between your hands. Turn your back foot on a strong angle and set up for triangle from the ground up. My back leg is pretty fired up. My front leg has a little bend. And then you lean back a little. Stack yourself up here. Look sideways, look up. Keeping your alignment, left hip grips in, look down, right hand can come to your hip, slide yourself into a half moon. So just the block moves forward and you stack yourself up. Spread the right arm up towards the sky. Flex your right toes. And then add in the bind if you want to take it. If not, just stay. Kick the foot behind you. Turn the entire left side of your body up towards the sky and then see if you can look up. Regular half moon, release with slow intentions here. Transition easily, warrior two, giant step back, take your time. Take a moment to define the pose. Outer left hip grips in, inner thigh wraps open, chest nice and open. Good, flip the palm reverse, create that space, and then come back through warrior two and guide yourself into this B variation. So I'm showing a block to the instep of the left foot and then sliding the right arm up. But just reminding you, your arm can always just rest in the top of the thigh and you can work from here. Grip the outer left hip underneath you, turn the bottom ribs, and add any arm variations that work. Half bind, full bind, right hand to your hip, no bind. The idea is that you're really opening up the heart and the chest here. Stay with it. Get a little heavier in that standing left thigh as you turn. Unravel the top arm or both arms. Let the strength of that top arm and that right leg pull you back up, warrior two. Sit real deep, lengthen the tailbone. Look forward, circle the hands to frame your front foot. When you get to plank, lean on your right hand. Vashisthasana side plank. You can modify with your bottom knee down like I'm demonstrating here. You can stagger the feet. That's another great way to take it. You can work on a tree pose. Anything goes. Lift through your bottom hip to your top hip and stack yourself up. Look sideways or look up. Feel the right hand pressing firm, your outer right tricep gripping in. Plank position. Nice and slow, go right to the other side. Just roll right into it this morning. Stack yourself up, lift from your bottom hip through your top hip, look up. Lift a little higher. Eyes meet the floor, plank position, pause. Drop to your forearms. The elbows may need to come in a little closer, guys. Forearm plank, lengthen your tailbone. Draw the navel to the back of the spine and rock your weight all the way forward onto your tippy toes. Broaden the upper shoulder blades. Take the round out of those upper shoulders. Fix your eyes forward rather than jutting your neck forward. Just look to the front skinny edge of the mat. You can also clasp your hands here. I find that helps tremendously to do that. Yeah. And breathe. If you're dying to go upside down, now would be the time to do it. If not, you're just going to hang tight and breathe here. So you can walk into a dolphin, which is just tightening the stance and lifting your hips up, or you can work on the core and the arm strength. I don't know what you're looking for today, so just giving you some options. About 8 more breaths wherever you are. You can independently lift one leg, then the other leg. Just reminding you when you're in a dolphin pose, your head isn't actually touching the ground, right? Your outer triceps are fired up. It's good to remember that because a lot of people think when they lift up, they're going towards headstand, right? We're not doing that today. Stay with it. Last few breaths. Good stuff happening. Child's pose. When you hit child's pose, reach your arms back and grab the base of your feet. So it looks like this. Your forehead's on the ground and your hands are grabbing the base of your feet. Good. Slide your arms forward. Activate. Curl the toes into the mat. Lift the hips. Down dog. Step your right foot forward. Crescent lunge. Last time today on this side. Hands drag to prayer. Inhale the breath. Lean out. Hook the elbow and twist. Everything we're doing is coming together. Full circle. You can always drop the back knee. You can always take an easy twist as an alternative if twisting into your lower back doesn't feel good, because we should never be twisting into our low back. But sometimes that's where the twist ends up happening. So we want to avoid that. Look sideways, look up. You got it, Andrea. That's perfect. Now, grip your right hip underneath you. Activate your back left leg, like really engage it like it's in a solid plank if it's lifted. And twist open a little deeper. Hands meet the floor. Integrate the arms and the hands. Take your right leg and squeeze it in and up into a half pigeon version, but you're just hovering it now. So the right shin moves forward a little. Your right leg is floating in space. You're hovering in a half pigeon, in a plank. Look forward. Land your right leg forward and through it. Now you can land in half pigeon. If you needed to reset that for some reason, like swing the leg up and back, you're welcome to do that. But it's pretty much set for you. And then fold. Fold yourself in half and breathe. Curl the back toes under, lift the hips, dog. Just step dog. Step your left foot forward, crescent lunge. So keep your mind in the game here. Hands come to prayer. Inhale the breath, lean out, find the extension first, and then twist. Sometimes, you know what I do when my lower back feels sore? I don't even hook it. I rest my elbow kind of in the center of the meaty part of my thigh, just looking for the alignment. And then I set up here. So it's like less twisty, but really engaging the lower half. So that's another thing you can kind of play with. Or the hand can just come down. You can take an easy twist, or you can back out with your knee down. Any of these options are great ways to take this pose. Lean back a little bit, look sideways, look up, and then breathe. And I get kind of lazy with that back leg. So squeeze that back leg really tight. Twist open, go for it right here. Eyes meet the floor, hands come down. So think half pigeon, and I want you to float your left leg. So you got to kind of pull the shin on an angle and float the left leg. So you're working your obliques, your arms are straight up and down. It's a floating plank with a half pigeon. Lift it up a little higher and then land it down, half pigeon pose. And then melt. Use the strength of your body, come up nice and slow. Lean on the left side and swing the right leg forward. Yeah, swing the right leg forward. Bend your legs in half. If you have a block, I think most of you do. Slide it the long direction in between your thighs like this. So it's in between my legs like this, and then I'm set up. Take your hands, reach them out in front of you. So just do a little ab work, and I want you to find fingertips. If getting the hands flat to the floor, you kind of dump your shoulders. Come high on your fingertips. You're gonna lift your legs in kind of this amended boat. Squeeze the block though. Flex your feet. Now, fingertips, you gotta kind of find the spot. If you've got really long arms, you may need, to walk your hands a little further. What we don't want is going into the low back. So lift and broaden the shoulders, squeeze the block. Squeeze the block really, really tight and hold here. Breathe your chest open. So you're gonna go into an Ardha Navasana with your legs straight up for this first one, 90-degree angle. So you're gonna lower down, hand slide, squeeze the block, legs straight up, flex the feet. Draw the shoulder blades up off the floor. So as you lift the shoulder blades, neck neutral, scoop out your belly, squeeze the block. Good, you're gonna come into Navasana boat, bending your knees, using the floor and the block, pull yourself up. Yes, good stuff. One more time, Ardha Navasana, legs straight up, straight up, straight up, straight up, scoop out the shoulders, flex the feet, draw the belly in. Now reach your arms up, try and touch your toes toward the fingers towards the sky. Lift the shoulders, squeeze the block. Scoop out the belly. Maybe the arms can drift back a little for a little more intensity. If not, stay here. 5, 4, squeeze. For 3, for 2, and 1. Release the shoulders, bend the knees. Keep the block in between the thighs. Inhale the breath. Exhale, robot the arms, lift up, bridge, squeezing the block. Feet steer forward, thighs wrapping in. Lengthen from the tailbone to the backs of the knees. Broaden the shoulder blades to the mat and lift. Exhale the breath, lower down. Remove the block. You could place underneath your lower back at this point, or you could set up for a full wheel. Inhale the breath, lift the tailbone, slide a block underneath, set up for a larger, more powerful back bend or more passive back bend. Maybe the legs want to lift straight up towards the sky if the block is underneath you. Yeah, just lift the legs of the block underneath you. That's great. The higher the block, the more flushing you're going to get. And you can clasp your hands around the block for the back bend. There you go. It's kind of a catting of the shoulders. Let's stay here. Everyone's legs are up. So just stay here. A few more good breaths. Good job. Bend your legs in half. Do this slow. Yeah. Get the feet flat to the floor. Then remove the block. How many times I've seen people try and move the block with their legs up? Disaster. And then slowly drop down. Take your feet as wide as the mat, and then the knees just knock in for a sec. Yeah. And then just reach for a happy baby pose. Grab the outer blades of your feet. Yeah. Good. And then slide your legs forward. If there's any final movements, or you feel you need a little supine twist or anything final here, take it. If not, you're going to slide yourself into Shavasana, complete rest. Yeah, complete rest. For the next minute or two, just find your way to stillness. Let everything go. Take a big breath in. Follow it up with a large, juicy exhale breath out. Arms reach up over the top of the head, full body stretch. Hug your knees in towards your chest, give them a big squeeze. And rock up however you feel the best to come up to a seated position. Sit up in this like new body of yours. That's what I always say every time I practice. I get a new body, a fresh start. Hands come to prayer. Bow your head for a second. Always have gratitude. Always have a moment of closure, because sitting with yourself is the most important thing that we gain from this. Lift your head, open your eyes. Namaste. Go out there, have an awesome afternoon. I am going live from Inner Spirit tomorrow, so I'll have the same setup for Zoom 9:30 if you'd like to practice again. I'm also in person Friday at Revel, so that also has a studio live stream. It's not through my Zoom, it's through the studios, that one, but it's super easy. Just go to your website. It kind of gives you an info. Everything 9:30. All right, see ya.